Do Black people unalive themselves? That is the question. Hi, my name is Marisa, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist here in Tennessee. So there has been a few news stories here recently regarding um, African Americans or Black Americans, Black people unaliving themselves in very specific ways. And so we are having a conversation about the possibility of um, people not unaliving themselves, but this also being another example of racism and white supremacy, especially in the sphere of Black people unaliving themselves via hanging. So I'm going to talk about lethal means in a different short, but I wanted to keep this short enough um, to talk about just the essence of unaliving. And so when I worked as a mobile crisis counselor for 3.5 years, I was in a voluntary facility where people could walk in off the street and say, hey, I'm suicidal, homicidal, or having some type of psychotic break and I need help. And so I was, when I started, I was an intake counselor. So I would take phone calls over the phone for people who were in distress. And then I became a crisis counselor where I would go out into the community, sometimes with the police, to assess people to see if they needed to be hospitalized or actually come to our facility voluntarily for treatment. And so I know all about unaliving and the populations that experience unaliving. I've been a mental health professional for 10 years, so I've seen it in real time. And so I know that Black people do have instances where they want to unalive themselves, and sometimes they are very successful in doing so. On a personal level, I can honestly say that I have had instances where I've wanted to unalive myself. When I was age 12 and when I was at age 18, I had 2 suicide attempts, and I am a Black American. So unaliving is not a population-specific choice. Unaliving is something that people do when they are experiencing extreme pain and feel like there's no other option than to end their life. For me specifically, when I was 12 years old, I felt that I was a burden to my family, and so I believed that unaliving myself was the way to go. And so this is the real issue. There are some mentally unwell people out here who are not getting the treatment that they need, and so unaliving is their only choice. So that is a conversation that needs to be had.